Hello, everybody. I hope everyone is having a wonderful Wednesday. Okay, hold on. Let me turn off the music for us real fast. Okay. So today is going to be another music therapy podcast. We are going to be going over our 11th song, which is crazy. What's the name of this 11th song again? The Prodigal. By who?
Josiah Queen.
Okay.
September 2023.
Yeah, wow, that's recent. So we're going to be looking at that song today. But before we jump in, let me go ahead and kind of run through who we are and some of the stuff that we'll be doing today. So, hi, my name is Holly Dayle. I normally do singing streams on here, but I also do a music therapy podcast with my father, and his name is Toby Holly.
Pleasure.
He is a licensed mental health counselor, right?
That's
Is
true.
How you say? Okay. We go through basically and look at different songs that either we find or you guys suggest to us, and we go through and basically try to give a rundown of how these songs could be helpful to you and how you could use them to kind of go through stuff that's going on in your own story like you would in a music therapy session. We just thought it'd be a good idea to actually go through and stream that for you guys, so it'd be more like, readily available, I guess. And I thought it'd be fun to do as like a community as well. So, that's basically what we're doing today. I'm going to go through and play the music, and then we'll look at the lyrics, and I'll read them, so that way we don't, get lost or anything with, concepts and everything. And after I read them, then we'll dive into some kind of, analysis and or just stuff that can actually help you guys go through and look at the music yourself and be able to kind of do a analysis in your own story using the song.
Great plan.
So, okay, I'm going to kind of pull everything up. And while I do that, do you want to give us a rundown of what we'll be talking about in the song today?
Yeah, sure. So, like I said, the name of the song is The Prodigal by Josiah Queen. And the song is kind of a rendition of the parable that you'll find in Luke chapter 15, known as the prodigal son. And this is a really cool story that Jesus told, and just the, very bare bones of it. We have a young man who is raised in a well-to-do family. Seems like a really good family. Maybe, dad for sure loves his kids, all that fun stuff. And this particular son is maybe bored at home. He just doesn't want to, follow kind of how his family is doing it in tradition.
Gotcha.
And so he strikes off on his own, and he's going to do it his way, on his own, yes. And, oh, by the way, I'd like to have all the cash that you would have otherwise given me at your death. And so he goes off and, kind of does his own thing. And so that's actually who the prodigal is. And the song is kind of being sung from the prodigal's point of view.
Gotcha.
Best I can tell.
That's
I
cool.
think that's what Josiah is doing there.
I've heard this song.
Cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I've heard this song a few times. I think on TikTok, actually. I've seen a few videos and stuff.
Okay.
And it's kind of cool because I went through to look at it today as we were getting ready for the podcast. And like you said earlier, this song was kind of recently put out, and it's already got, let's see, on YouTube it has already 2 million views on it, which is amazing. That is awesome. And it's a good song. I went through, it's really upbeat compared to the stuff that we normally look at when we do a podcast. So I'm excited for that. Kind of a little bit more of a country song, I feel like, is kind of where it is. I don't think we've looked at many country songs. So, yeah. I don't know if he would categorize it when he wrote it as that.
I'm not sure yet.
But to me, it sounds like an upbeat country song. So, okay.
And it does have some nice therapeutic overtones to it, which is obviously why we're talking about it.
Exactly. Okay, so let me go ahead and dive into the actual song now. Let me go ahead and pull it up. So this is verse 1 of The Prodigal by, what was his name
Josiah
again?
Queen.
Josiah Queen. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. And let's unmute it. It's probably wise. Okay, so here's verse 1.
I've been sick and tired, being sick and tired, searching far and wide for something that feels real. I need something that feels real.
All right, let me pause it right before we get into the pre-chorus there. I love the music in the background. That's why I was kind of saying it feels like a country song a little bit. You know what I mean? It's got this kind of like cool rhythm pattern in the guitar that I really liked when I heard it. I was like, okay, that's cool. That's different. I like that. Okay. Anyway, so I'll go ahead and read the verse for us, and then we'll kind of jump into some thoughts about like the lyrics. Okay. Yeah. So verse 1 reads, I've been sick and tired of being sick and tired, searching far and wide for something that feels real. I need something that feels real. So that's verse 1.
That's verse 1, and you know, like how many of us have felt sick and tired of feeling sick and tired? So that's
fair point.
Fairly mature. Familiar, I'd say.
Yeah.
So remember, this is written from the prodigal's point of view. So he's the one saying that he's sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. And he also makes the point that he was trying to find something that feels real. So he's tried on lots of different, personas, and just nothing's going quite right. And I think he is hearkening back to his childhood, where he probably was experiencing some love and think community and stuff, and geez, nothing out here. I mean, the grass is just not greener on the other side.
Yeah,
that's probably what he's coming to there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's probably for us as listeners, can you relate to that? Is kind of what I think would be good.
That's good. Yeah, I feel like this verse kind of speaks to that kind of like deep longing for something that's like authentic. I think basically, as you were saying,
that's a good word.
And something that kind of like truly satisfies you. For me, I feel like it reminds me that only God can fill that void in my heart. And I think there was a few other songs that we felt like were kind of leaning in that direction, trying to say that message.
Right.
But yeah, I really feel that one, like feel that message in this first verse here. So from this song. So yeah, I don't know, just a little thought I thought I'd add.
Cool.
But yeah, all right, so that was verse 1. So now let's go ahead and jump into the pre-chorus. And we'll get to some analysis of that. Okay, let me back it up just a little bit.
And why for something that feels real? I need something that feels real. And I don't want to lose my soul chasing after things that don't lead me straight to you. And I'm lost in a feeling that I ain't from this world.
That's cool. Okay, sorry, I was just listening for a second. I think in the background that's a banjo. Am I wrong? That sounds like a banjo. Right. Yeah, not too long ago, I went and I was like singing at a local church near me, and one of the guys in the band he actually brought a banjo on stage. It was so much fun. I forget what song we were singing in church that morning, but like that was one of the main instruments of the song. It was just so much fun to sing to, and it was different for me, but oh my gosh, it's like a vibe. You know what I mean? That instrument kind of brings out, I feel like the country vibe it brings out,
kinda
but then also
fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say kind of like this fun, kind of like upbeat, like vibe that I don't know, that it could just bring to a song, and it just reminded me of that a few weekends ago. But yeah, okay, let me go ahead and jump into actually reading the pre-chorus. So the pre-chorus reads, and I don't want to lose my soul chasing after things that don't lead me straight to you, and I'm lost in the feeling that I ain't from this world.
Fantastic.
So yeah, that was the pre-chorus.
And the you here is God. And he doesn't want to lose his soul. He's acknowledging that, there are decisions, paths that we can take that will actually cost you your soul. I think he was exploring some of those paths. Yeah. It wasn't going well, hence the prodigal. And so I think that he's kind of coming back to his roots here and maybe bringing some respect to the business of God and faith and,
That's good. Yeah, I feel like this part kind of hits home for me. I feel like it's kind of like a wake-up call that's kind of like reminding me not to get caught up in the things of the world that kind of can't bring me closer to God. You know what I mean? It's comforting to remember that I belong to a higher purpose and that my true home is with him, and not to get distracted with like worldly things. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I find that as a comfort to remember that.
Yeah,
so.
That's good.
And that's something.
It's an anchor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that was the pre-chorus. So now let's go ahead and jump into the chorus. I love the vibe of this song too. I feel like we should review some more like upbeat and happy songs. You know what I mean? I feel like the past 3 have been just kind of like solemn and dark, and you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, let me go ahead and pull it up. I think it's here. Yeah. I mean, hopefully it's loud enough. I'm not sure. That's fun. Okay, I'll turn it off. Oh, I love that beat. That's so cool. The energy there is really good. It reminds me a little bit of like one of the Toby Mac songs that we looked at not too long ago. That it's able to keep the energy in the song without losing any of like the tension in the music. You know what I mean? And I love that. I love songs that are able to do that. You know? Okay. Let's go ahead and jump into the chorus now. So the chorus reads, "The going back to Eden ain't gonna be easy, but it leads me straight to you. I'm running home like the prodigal."
Yeah. Eden, interesting symbolism there. So, okay, Eden, Garden of Eden, where God is. Maybe you could say, you know, even heaven, afterlife. I also don't think it's a reach to say home. Like maybe his home kind of resembled Eden in a way, you know, because he's going back home. That's the story of the prodigal,
right?
And obviously the prodigal, I think, is both a parallel to heaven and Jesus, and then in the concrete fashion, this young man and his father and his family and stuff. So definitely all those parallels are there. So it's amazing that all of that has been fit in just a couple of lines there.
That's true. Yeah. I definitely feel like this chorus is powerful. I feel like it acknowledges that the journey back to God isn't always easy, but it is worth it.
That's true.
And kind of like just like the prodigal, like he was saying, I'm running back to God or something like that, or I'm running home. But to me, that's kind of like he's saying, I'm running back to God, and knowing that he will welcome me with open arms regardless. And I think it's just, it kind of paints like a beautiful picture of like redemption and grace. And I think this the chorus really kind of paints that picture, at least for me, as like the listener, you know? But yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on the chorus.
That's good. So, and it's not easy, you know, just maybe that's a little thought about that. It's not easy going back home. What does that mean? Probably there's some, you know, humility that has to be kind of revealed. You know?
Or guilt and shame.
Could be,
too.
He's feeling guilt and shame, right? Yeah.
So like what's going to wait for me when I get back there? Is it actually going to be
But it's worth it, right? You know,
exactly.
Kind of clean it up.
Right. Okay, so that was the chorus. Right. Now we're going to jump into verse 2.
Verse 2.
Let me see. Okay, I thought I closed the song. I did not. Okay. Here we go.
Like the prodigal, I don't need the money. I don't want the fame. I don't want what I can't take with me in the grave. Oh, and I don't want to.
Okay, let me pause it. Oh, that was a cool transition to the bridge. Fun. I love that. Okay, I love the harmonies and stuff too. I forget. There's like a way. I feel like that's vocal doubling, but I don't know. That's my music production kind of like trying to decipher what I just heard. But yeah, okay. Let's jump into verse 2. Okay. So verse 2 reads, "I don't need the money. I don't want the fame. I don't want what I can't take with me in the grave." Well, that's cool. I like that verse. That's cool.
I don't need the money.
Yeah,
it's funny how you did that.
I did like that.
It's like the message is kind of in a way heavy, you know, like but on the other hand,
upbeat with like the banjo and everything. Yeah,
it's a really interesting contrast there. Yeah, I mean the verse 2 I think is just kind of giving definition to maybe some of the paths that he tried. Yeah, you know, and he just discovered they were empty, and so he's going back to his, you know, I guess first love, which is his family and God, and he knows that's the right thing to do. Exactly. Yeah.
And I feel like this verse kind of really resonates with me in the fact that, like you were saying, it's a reminder to kind of focus on what truly matters. So like eternal things, not just temporary things. Like money and fame, they can't follow me into eternity, but my relationship with God can. And I love that he's like focusing on that in the verse. Like, he's like, yeah, I don't need those things. Like, the actual point of why I'm here is to be in relationship with him. Like, that's why I was created. You know what I mean? To be a part of his family, which is cool. And I love that he's touching on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that was the verse. And now we're going to jump into the bridge.
I think we'll probably have the chorus again.
Right after. Or you think before that?
Yeah,
oh,
I
okay.
think so.
I do not recall. Let's see.
I don't want what I can't take with me in the grave. Oh, and I don't want to lose my soul chasing after things that don't lead me straight to you. And
Ooh, I love that transition. It's
I'm
cool.
lost in a feeling that I ain't from this world. But going back to Eden ain't gonna be easy, but it leads me straight to you. Now I'm running like the prodigal.
Think?
I don't want to lose my
Oh, here
soul
it is. Here's the
chasing after
bridge.
things
Yeah.
that don't lead me straight to you. And I don't want to lose my
Real quick,
gaze
I just want to add that was really cool, the passing chord there. I was waiting. I was listening to the song earlier, and I was trying to hear if there was a passing chord there, and there was, and that was really pretty. I just wanted to add that real fast. Okay, let's go ahead and jump back into it, to the bridge.
welcome home. Now I'm running like the prodigal. I'm lost in a feeling that
I think it is.
ain't from this world. Going back to Eden
Okay,
ain't gonna be
so that was the bridge. We passed it already. Whoops, that's okay.
You can read it for us.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and read it. So the bridge reads, I don't want to lose my soul, chasing after things that don't lead me straight to you. I don't want to lose my gaze when I meet you face to face. Well done, welcome home. I love that last line. Well
Yeah.
done, welcome home.
Again,
That was cool.
you know, I love the very strong kind of biblical overtones
Mm-hmm.
throughout the whole song,
Yeah.
and the bridge. And I always am very impressed with the bridge of a
Yeah,
song.
yeah, I know. We've been talking about that the last few
Always impressed
episodes.
with that.
Yeah. How it's always kind of like
It's got something powerful to it.
yeah, exactly. It's like anytime I write a bridge in music, I always try to make it so it kind of is a little bit deeper to what everything in the chorus was saying, but it leads back to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it adds a little bit more color or a point of view that I maybe wanted to use in the chorus that I couldn't. You know what I mean? That I just put in the bridge. So yeah, that's something cool to see whenever we look at different songs, what different people do with the bridge. And so far, every song that we've looked at, it does like touch into something deeper
Yeah.
that is kind of like the backbone of the song. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So here we were talking about, again, not wanting to lose his soul. He's just acknowledging that there is like a moral value that is kind of assigned to different decisions, and sometimes it can be really, really bad for you, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't want to lose his gaze. Thought that
Oh
was
yeah,
really interesting.
that's a cool line. Yeah.
Just how that impacted me is that imagine if you were, rolling into heaven or something, and you're fixing to have your first encounter with Jesus. Probably you want to be able to look at him in the face, and,
Right.
and,
That's a good
and
plan.
maintain your gaze, because he's awesome and all, right? Well, but if you're feeling shame, if you're feeling terrible, well, then that's going to interrupt your gaze. You look down.
Yeah,
that's just kind of like what I was thinking.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great thought. Yeah.
And then, of course, the final point is you hope to hear from Jesus, "Well done," and that's what that last
welcome
line
home.
was.
Yeah.
Welcome home, exactly. Yeah.
I feel like the bridge is also kind of for me like a prayer. I find myself praying often. I try to like not be distracted by things that don't bring me closer to God. You know what I mean? Especially like in my career path as a musician, there's plenty of things that could like lead you astray. You know what I mean? Like the chasing of fame and like the money and like, will I get the next paycheck? Whatever. And your gaze can get distracted. And I think the thought of hearing him say, "Well done, welcome home," is exactly what I try to strive for, every day.
Yes.
And it's a really powerful motivator to kind of keep my eyes fixed on him. It's like a constant reminder. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just something that
That's beautiful.
that kind of reminded me of that last line in the bridge here. But yeah, okay, so that was pretty much it for the rest of the song. The rest of the song, I think, is just the chorus. Repeated, a few more times, which is what we were listening to for a second there at the end. But yeah, now I think we should probably jump into kind of like the actual music therapy kind of like applications, right? Okay, so now that we've looked at the overall song, we've gotten kind of like a deep analysis of kind of like every single verse, bridge, and chorus. Now what I like to jump into in this part of the podcast is going through and answering two questions. The first question is, what exactly did we just learn from what we were looking at? Like, what's the overall message of this song? And is this something that applies to me? So that's like the first question. And then the second question is, how do we now use this information to kind of do like an analysis on our own soul? Or what can we do to kind of use the information we just learned, essentially? So, yeah, and that's where he takes it away because he's got the degree in counseling. Best. So, yeah. Okay.
So questions. As far as, who the song might minister to, I mean, of course, there's all sorts of an infinite number of stories out there.
Right.
But I was thinking individuals who might be in a transition point, like maybe, let's just say, in a recovery program.
Okay.
And so you're really working your recovery program, especially if it's kind of early in that process. I could see this song having great value because it can sort of walk with you and give you strength and encouragement just to keep reaching for what you know is good. But it's hard to kind of stay true to the recovery program again, especially in the beginning, like the first 90 days. And so
I
think the song really, and I do love that it's a serious message, but it's not a heavy mood.
That's true. Yeah, I like that.
You don't always get kind of that balance.
That combo. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be useful for someone who is, like I said, in a transition or maybe feeling kind of alone in their community and they're trying to get back to their community, their family or something, or maybe if you're trying to develop yourself spiritually a little bit, kind of grow in that way. So I mean, I think I could just imagine that folks who are sort of facing that in life would appreciate what this song brings.
That's true. Yeah.
So that would be the first question.
That'd be the first question.
Like who,
Yeah.
And then the how part. So I think it's worth noting, always remember in the simplest terms, music, as far as music therapy is concerned, has both a mood, like we talked about, and then a message. And they're combined. And because it comes in as a package, it just really affects the whole you. You can actually feel it in your body, not just thinking in your mind.
That's true.
And so that gives a lot of strength and just, I would say, hope for change. So that's kind of a cool thing about music therapy. And so a great practice is to take a song, like The Prodigal, and of course, you listen to it and you try and personalize the song. What does this song bring to mind?
Right.
For example, have you been a prodigal? Have you been traveling down a road that maybe golly gee whiz you wish you hadn't have, and that wasn't going well?
Right.
And so what is that for me if I'm the prodigal? And so listening to the song and just kind of trying to discover that. It's great to journal it, just to kind of maybe write highlights of that down or something.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And then creating goals, which would obviously be in contrast to the life that you don't want.
Right.
We're going for, how else can I do it right? That is to say, mirror my life like Jesus's life.
Yeah, to be a vessel.
What would exactly be a vessel. So, I mean, kind of one of those goals. And then you take just that message, that almost compare and contrast, and you purpose to listen to the song probably daily. And
that's good.
You think about the goals in light of the song and maybe ask God to join with you in having courage to meet those goals today.
Right.
Kind of doing it one day at a time. And again, what's cool about the song is it just kind of helps you keep the wind in your sails.
That's true. Yeah, that's good.
So that's just a practical application which might be useful in like a music therapeutic setting. Different ways you could do that. Some folks are really creative, and so they might have almost like a sense of how they might want to cast their story in a picture, you know, in a piece of art.
Yeah,
And,
I get that.
kind of express it, you know, visually, you know, the song, but like in a visual media.
Right. Yeah,
And
just like drawing.
That's
that sort
helpful.
Of thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
I used to do that all the time when I was a kid in church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. So how's that?
That was good. Okay, so again, the two questions was, what is this song kind of addressing that I feel like I could resonate with? And I think overall what you said was like the feeling of emptiness, people seeking like renewal, or people trying to navigate some sort of life transition. So yeah, that's kind of, I think, or what we think is the song would be best for like those people who are listening to it. And then some of the exercises that you could do, which would be like journaling or just like personal reflection, or like artistic expression, like you said, and kind of like meditative prayer too. And so I don't know, I think you mentioned that as well.
Kinda,
So yeah, those are kind of the steps that you could take in the sense of like music therapy when you listen to a song like this or this exact song. And yeah, so that was kind of the overall like idea with the podcast and episode 11. So basically now what we're going to do is, if y'all are interested in like worksheets or that sort of thing, we're basically setting up something that we're going to do, like a subscription thing or like an email service, some sort of, I don't know, way to reach out to you guys where we can send out worksheets if that's something that y'all want. We don't have that quite set up yet, but this one for this episode will be available, the Prodigal worksheet. And that could be something that y'all could use to kind of go through the song and like analyze yourself if this would be something useful for you, to kind of listen to over and over again and kind of go through like those feelings of emptiness and looking for renewal, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and eventually we'll put this song as well on the playlist that we have, that we're going to have come out, which is the Recovery and Discovery. Okay, I always forget the two. But yeah, we'll put those playlists together for you guys so you can go through and listen to the songs that we have already done for the past 11 episodes, which is awesome that we've done that many so far. Yeah, and if there are any songs that y'all would like us to look at, let us know in the comments, and we'll get back to you, and we'll do that song on the next podcast. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and joining us on episode 11. Soon we'll come out with those playlists for y'all and a way for you guys to get those worksheets if that's something that y'all are interested in. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys on the next podcast. Bye.
See ya.
There we go.
I've been sick and tired, being sick and tired, searching far and wide for something that feels real. I need something that feels real. And I don't wanna lose my soul, chasing after things that don't lead me straight to you.